Hello everyone and welcome to Ferris Sports Update. I'm your host Rob Bentley and thanks for tuning in. We have a busy show today. We'll talk Bulldog women's basketball with the coach of the first place team in the GLIAC North Division. We'll cover Ferris State hockey in an exciting weekend, and we'll check in with new Ferris State football coach Tony Anise. First up, women's basketball with head coach Tracey Dorow. Coach, welcome and congratulations on a sweep in the Upper Peninsula this past weekend.
Thanks for having me, Rob.
The Bulldogs going to the UP, always a tough trip. On Thursday night, you opened the trip taking on the number 19 team in the country, defending national runner-up in Michigan Tech, but your team came out, played pretty well, and were able to snap a 37-game home court winning streak.
Boy, they're a good team, and we came out really fired up because we had already beaten them on our home floor, and we had the home court advantage. We just had a lot of confidence going in, but it was a hard-fought battle, a game of streaks, and at one point we were up 14 with about 5 or 6 minutes to go, and we just held on for dear life, and we did a pretty good job down the stretch.
We have some highlights from that game at the Student Development Complex Gymnasium. Always a great crowd on hand for Michigan Tech in Houghton, and fortunately your team hit some big shots in the second half after Michigan Tech had taken a 5-point halftime lead.
Yeah, we did a good job of really attracting attention inside. Christina Branch and Nikki Arner really worked hard in the post, and they attracted a lot of attention when they rolled in. Here's Chris rolling in, and when we were able to move the ball on the outside, we knocked down some shots. Tricia Principe, I think, hit 5 threes that game, and one was a 4-point play that was just huge.
Christina Branch right there with a big offensive rebound, and for a freshman, she's really came on and has done a great job on the inside.
She's incredible. I mean, she's just started to figure out that she can do pretty much anything she wants inside if she works hard. And, as a freshman, it's hard to find that balance of just continuing to work even when you don't touch the ball. And she's starting to see that if I work every time, I'll get the ball more and more, and I'll be able to go to work.
As we said, Michigan Tech led by 5 at halftime, scored the first 5 of the second half, but your team battled back, answered with a 10-0 run, and eventually built a double-digit lead.
Yeah, it didn't even feel like they had made the big run. I mean, I don't know, our kids just kind of got in the flow, and they hung in there, they defended real hard, and we never hung our heads. When Michigan Tech, we knew they were going to hit some tough shots. When they hit the tough shots, we just continued to press on, and we made some good things happen, and we went on a big run.
Michigan Tech, as we mentioned, one of the top teams in the country, and they had a chance to tie you for first place in the GLIAC North if they would have been able to win this game, but you beat them for the 3rd straight time. What have been some of the keys to those wins?
For us, I think we match up really well with them. As far as our size and our physicality, we just match up well. The officials let us play there, and that was to our advantage for sure because we have bigger, stronger post players. They have more finesse and more shooters, and we did a pretty good job covering the 3-point line. So, I feel like we match up very well with them. They seem to be a rival game for us, and we've done a pretty good job of rising to that occasion.
You mentioned they came back and cut it back down and eventually climbed within, I think, a couple points, but Tricia Principe with a couple big free throws with 9 seconds left, and then you got a big stop at the defensive end.
Yeah, I think we were up 1 with 22 seconds to go, and Nikki Arner missed both free throws, which was a shock because she's a pretty good free throw shooter. But, their band was really right there behind them, and it was just kind of a crazy time. And she missed them, but we did a pretty good job getting the stop at the other end, and then Trish hit the free throws, and she's led the country in free throw percentage the last couple of years, although she didn't have enough attempts last year, but she's a pretty money free throw shooter, and we were excited to have her at the line at the end of the game.
She hit a couple big free throws again on Saturday as you went to Northern Michigan late in the game, and got off to a slow start in the first half, trailed by 9 at halftime, but your team showed some composure, battled back, and picked up another big win.
Yeah, we weren't very happy with the first half. Northern is a very good team, too, very young, very aggressive, and they have a very good player in number 22, Chelsea Lyons, who scored 30, and I thought we did all right, but she just had a really good day, and we just came out flat and didn't really play the way we were capable of. But second half, we turned it on, we scored 54 points, and ironically, the score of the second half was the score of our first game against them, so it's kind of crazy that we were able to do that, and then we scored 78 points and hung on to win 78-71.
Sarah Deshone with a couple big baskets there, and she had another good ball game. Christina Branch, 23 points to lead the way.
Yeah, Chris, she was a force inside, and I don't know that the clips do her justice, but that's 22 and a tough shot by her. But Sarah Deshone played all 40 minutes. I told her I forgot to take her out, but it wasn't really true. We needed her on the floor, and she made things happen just like Christina did there. She just went up and grabbed the ball, took it out of nowhere, and scored. So, those two definitely were key players. And Nikki Arner right there, that pass, helped start the second half run, and Nikki didn't have a very good first half, but she sure turned it on the second half, and that was a big factor to us coming back and winning.
Both Nikki Yarner and Christina Branch did a nice job on the boards as well with 9 apiece, and it seems like they really complement each other pretty well on the inside.
They do. Nikki's more of a finesse player, but she really owns the offensive glass. She tracks the ball better than any player that I've had in a long time. I thought Tiara Adams was very good, but she was only 5'9". But, you know, Nikki being 6 foot and being able to slide in there and find the ball, she does a good job. And then Chris just, you know, you can see her body type and everything. She just goes in and finds the ball and gets it. And there's Deshawn with another pull-up, and that was a tough shot, too.
78-71 the final, and with the sweep this past weekend, you have a 2-game lead over second-place Michigan Tech in the North Division and also in the tiebreaker. So you got to be pretty comfortable and pretty happy with where you're at right now.
I'm not comfortable, but I'm very happy. You know, it's just every night is just a battle, and that was proven on Saturday with Northern. You know, I mean, Northern struggled to win games this year, and we really struggled against them as much as we have against anybody. So every night we have to show up to play, but I'm very happy to be where we are.
You're 12-4, 9-1 atop the conference standings. What does it take from here on out as you go into this last month of the season to be able to win a conference championship?
You know, we're so far away from that, but we just have to focus on getting better and playing with a lot of confidence every day. But, you know, the way this team is, it's very special because they care so much about each other doing well that they're not selfish. They just want to see everybody else do well. So they're continuing to be unselfish. If it's not their day, they move the ball, they defend, they're really encouraging each other. And if we can just continue to get better every single day in practice and then make sure that we're focused on the defensive end in the games, hopefully the offense will take care of itself. You know, I mean, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but the consistent thing will be defense and rebounding.
Another big game this coming week. You have a week to prepare, but Grand Valley State coming to town, big rivalry game, and should be a great crowd on Saturday, 1 o'clock tip-off time. And what do you know about the Lakers coming into this matchup?
I know they've got a couple key injuries to some key players, but they still battle and they still play hard. They beat Northern Michigan on Thursday night, and they keep fighting, and they're a good team, very athletic, very tough to match up with. You know, we just have to be prepared for what they're going to do. I don't think they've been shooting the ball as well this year from the outside, but they've got a real strong inside presence with the Taylor twins, and you know, we're going to have to find ways to match up with them, but they're also going to have to find ways to match up with us. So I'm glad we get them at home first because the home atmosphere is electrifying here.
How big is that home court advantage to be playing at home? Last year, in the last meeting, you were able to beat them in the regular season finale, and this will be the first matchup between the two teams this season. Yeah,
you know, we've struggled the last couple of years, but we've found ways to split with Grand Valley the last 2 years, and now we get them at home first. And I think that's huge because the band plays a big factor, the community, the students, everybody comes. It seems like the gym is packed, and it really gets us fired up to play. And obviously we've got the target on our back this year as opposed to the other way around. So, you know, hopefully we're ready for that and we can step up to that challenge. And I know our kids are really fired up, and we're glad it's the only game this week so we can just prepare for them.
With the lead in the North Division at this point of the season, with 5 straight games coming up here at home, you've got to be happy to be playing all these games here at home in the next couple weeks.
I think the instructors are more happy, but yeah, no, you know what? We focus really well on the road, and we've traveled pretty well for the most part. But it's nice to be home. Like I said, the crowd is a big factor, and just having them be at home and in their regular routine, sleeping in their own beds, and being able to go to class and not be as stressed out because they're missing a test and have to make it up. You know, our kids are real good students. First semester team GPA was a 3.3. You know, it was above a 3.3, so I'm really proud of them for what they've accomplished on and off the court.
Well, best of luck on Saturday against Grand Valley.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more Ferris Sports Update after this. We'll talk Bulldog hockey, and we'll meet new Ferris State football coach Tony Anise. Stay with us.